I want to talk about this. Turnovers. And if you look at the box score, it says 3. It's not 3, it's 2. Chris, where are you at with the turnovers? And do we win this game? Like, we understand we've been like, I understand there's difficulties that we had. We couldn't stop them. And we had our own issues. But if we don't have 2 turnovers in this game, I'm calling it 2, not 3, because the St. Brown at the end of the half doesn't matter.
Right.
Do we win this game?
Oh man, these turnovers were not just turnovers either. These are the big turnovers, and the pick six, it just holds true. If you do that, you're
going to lose.
Not going to win. Like, I don't know
you
why.
You said it last week.
Yeah.
You said it last week.
There's a crazy stat out there that teams that get pick six or a scoop and score throughout the course of the NFL, like the course of history, if you get that, those teams have won like 98% of the time. It's a huge, huge play, and you can't overcome it. And we basically had 2 of them where, all right, first play coming out of half, here you go, you guys take it. And it's like that, you cannot overcome that stuff. And so I give Seattle a bunch of credit, but I've been wondering about Montgomery for a while, and now he fumbled it in a way that I wasn't concerned about. He kind of got it ripped weird, but
he hasn't been protecting the ball well.
He doesn't protect the ball, and it's only a matter of time. So that's something that's going to be interesting going forward. But these turnovers were the game, and we didn't get the turnovers. That's the whole thing. And it's not that we turned the ball over, I think, and I'll throw it back to you. Yes, the turnovers were huge, but we didn't get the turnovers because they played so efficiently on offense and just killed us. So where are you at on the turnovers and what that meant?
Yeah, I want to talk about what you said with David Montgomery for a second. So there's somewhere in our live show that, the 4-hour live feed from our Chiefs game that we did last week, where we're like, that's a fumble. Like he's going to fumble the ball, right? He's going to fumble the ball, and it's going to be a turnover. And then sure enough, there it goes. And I don't think he was known for that in Chicago.
I don't think so.
I don't know for a fact, I don't remember that being a thing. And not that I try and watch Chicago football. I don't. I do my best not to watch the Bears unless they're playing us. And so I think it's one of those things where it's like, man, that's rough. But then he gets injured anyway. The turnovers for me, it's turnovers you can survive. You can survive with a turnover if it's a turnover on downs inside of the 5-yard line, inside of the opponent's 5-yard line. You can survive if you're in the opponent's territory and you give up an interception. Like, it's deflating. We did it. We survived it last week. We had a turnover inside the opponent 20, 30-yard line, Marvin Jones. We survived because we created one. You can't survive a pick six. You can't survive turning the ball over on your own 20, 25-yard line. No. And you certainly can't survive both. We almost did. Like that in some ways. What I'm going to say sounds dumb, and people are going to go nuts on the comments, and they're going to be like, what are you talking about? Right. In some ways, the fact that we had 2 turnovers and almost won this game the way we did, 3-2, you get it.
Yep.
Is almost talks to our resilience, I guess. It's weird.
And I think we are still a good team. It's hard it's hard to understand how Seattle could come across the country, play terrible at home in their home opener, come across the country, 1 p.m. start. Our home crowd is going to do the greatest performance that we can as far as noise and antics and everything we can. And they just dink and dunk it down the field all game. And we lose to this team, right? So it's hard to just be like, we're good. We're still good, but whatever. I still think we're really good, but yeah, these turnovers were huge. We didn't get a turnover. Like you and I said it. We said in our live show last game against the Chiefs, all right, we got to make a play. They've gotten a turnover. We haven't. That's the difference in this game. Let's make a play. And Brian Branch comes through, and we never had, that's another thing. We never had that big play. Unless you can think of something that was like, well, the flea flicker. Well, there was a flea flicker, but outside of that, we just struggled, man. I don't know. It's just,
I can actually think of 2 things. I think I can think of, not we never had a big play, but I can think of 15 times where it felt like we gave up a big play on 3rd and 12, 3rd
Oh.
and 18. Like when they ended up scoring after they got offensive, what was it, pass interference, and like there was like they were moving back. It was like 3rd and 18 or 1st and 20 or something like that inside of our 30. And I'm just like, what are we doing? And they just kept doing it over and over and over. And it's like, yeah, the offense is really multiple. So here's what I'm trying to figure out, though. We can't force turnovers. We're giving turnovers. Our defense can't stop this team. What happened to them last week? Like, what happened to the Seahawks last week? And why did we refuse not to play a defense in the similar manner as the Rams? Like, why did we just keep doing our stuff that didn't work the last 2 years?
Yes, you nailed it. Like, hey, we go into this game, let's get a little weird. You're right, because you look at the Rams defense. I mean, they got a bunch of nobodies out there now, and it just seems like you could just bully the Rams, and instead we get bullied. And not even bullied. It's so hard to put into words because it was just this. It's just six yards of play, and and you can't stop. And yeah, you nailed it. How many times are they going to be 2nd and 20, and then on that play they get 16 yards, and now it's 3rd and 4, and they get it, and it's like, I can't watch this anymore. I'm gonna. That was terrible, man.
And here's the thing. Can I ask you a second question?
Mm-hmm.
What killed us more, turnovers or injuries?
Oh,
because you want me to go through some of them. Montgomery, and he got taken off on a cart. That sucks. Because we don't have another back of that caliber. Yet, don't get me. I'm not saying Gibbs isn't great, and I'm not saying he won't be great. I'm just saying we don't have another between the tackles back like Montgomery.
No.
So he gets carted off. Amon-Ra St. Brown probably missed 25% of the snaps, and at crucial times. Vaitai is going to be out. I mean, that does not look good. All right. He could put 0 weight on it. Decker's already out. Then you go to the defense. People are in and out. It's just like, what is going on? How does this happen every year? It's a new field at Ford Field. It shouldn't be the turf, but sorry, I'm saying too much. No. What hurt us more?
The injuries were interesting because, CJ Gardner-Johnson goes out, Kirby Joseph, those guys get dinged up, then they come back in, and it's like, okay, cool. And I remember thinking, hey, those guys in the past, they'd be out for the game a couple weeks, but hey, we got new medicine doctor, and I don't even know what I was thinking. I'm just feeling all good, like, hey, this is great. We don't get injured anymore.
Bodies are better prepared, so it's not as awful of an injury.
We really push these guys in training camp, and so it's like, oh man, we're not going to get injured. And next thing you know, all these key players are out. They're playing so physical on us, and that was just disheartening because it was like, second game of the year, Seattle comes in here and plays out of their minds, and just they're injuring us, or they're not injuring us, but it's just a way physical, more physical game than I was expecting. And yes, so the injuries were a huge part. I mean, they just were in huge parts of the game. It's the second game of the season. Now we gotta rebound, and that's gonna be the game. That's gonna be the season, obviously, is going forward. Do we rebound against an Atlanta Falcons team that's not that good? They can't be great. They're not. Who knows, right? What do I know? They're not great, though. I mean, come on, you got to win.
They're beatable. They're a very beatable team.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. So I don't know.
But they're going to come at us with an offense very similar.
Oh my gosh.
To what Seattle runs. The only difference is they're going to rely more heavily on the run, and Seattle was willing to throw it 40 times. Atlanta's not going to throw it 40 times.
Right. Wouldn't you just go to this film all day, every day? And that's what scares me about these lower tier quarterbacks that we're going to face this year, because that's one of the things we face, lower tier quarterbacks. But that's the problem, is they're going to be like, all right, let's just settle this offense down. We'll do what Seattle does. We'll leak out a little this, a little that. It's like
little leak, little cross the formation,
little
ton of play action. So
man,